power in the NFC.
DeBerg's problem, according to Bill Walsh, and I talked to him before the game, is that he tries to force the pass into a crowd to make things happen. If he doesn't do that today, Walsh says he can be a winning quarterback.
And for the 49ers, number 32, O.J. Simpson, is a guy who can't do it week in and week out, but he had a fine day last Sunday, rushing for 89 yards in all.
And, you know, just having O.J. Simpson on the field for the 49ers makes them a force on offense. He's scary.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks upcoming here on NBC from Candlestick in San Francisco. And we'll be back right after these words. That is it for NFL 79. The executive producer of NFL 79 is Don Ohlmeyer. Today's show was produced by Don McGuire. Directed by Bob Levy. Technical director Salvatore Nagita. Associate Directors Mary Buda and Mike Eilbaum. Coming up next, the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers.
Lobo turns strippers into cheerleaders and kicks off some wacky action Tuesday.
It's the end of a long day. Friends are gathered here to watch TV. It's a beautiful setting for a good cold glass of Rainier beer. And now, the pouring lineup. Bobby Holden, left couch, Seattle, Washington. James Leach, right couch, Aberdeen, Washington. Tommy Slockovich, center easy chair, Bellingham, Washington. Lester Hobbs, kitchen runner, Tacoma, Washington. And Sandy Leach, corner living room, Bellevue, Washington. There they are. They're thirsty. And now, yes, they're pouring mountain fresh Rainier.
You know what goes on underground?
This is King 5, Seattle.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League, the American Football Conference. Brought to you by Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Anheuser-Busch Natural Light. When you want a smooth, clean taste and a great light beer, just say natural. By Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. We're easy to remember. And by America's full-service bankers. Ready to serve you where you see this symbol.
And we welcome you back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. This is Marv Albert with Mike Hafner as we await the San Francisco 49er kickoff. The deep end, Tony Green, in his first Seattle appearance. He is wearing number 34. Number 32 is Jeff Moore. This is Ray Wersching. And here's Moore at the 10. Jeff Moore out to the 20. To the 25. Breaks the tackle of Wersching. Able to tackle Moore. So Ray Wersching, the kicker, in on the stop.
You won't see that happen very often, Marv. Usually, the field goal kicker runs off the field.
The Seahawks with Jim Zorn at quarterback, Sherman Smith and Dan Dornick are the running backs. McCullum, Lodgett, and Peets, the receivers.
They ought to have big days. The San Francisco defense isn't that tough. There's the offensive line. Nick Bebout back in the starting lineup, along with Bob Newton, who has replaced Ron Coder.
And a look at that front four of the San Francisco 49ers as the Seahawks go to work on first down. And this is Dornick getting the call. Short pickup for Dan Dornick. Ted Vincent, the left defensive tackle, making the stop, and some over-aggressive play by the 49ers, but the crowd eats it up.
When you have a collective record of 1-9, Marv, tempers are a little bit short. There's the defensive line, Reese Vincent, Jimmy Webb, and, of course, Hardman, who has been around a long time rushing quarterbacks.
It will be a 2nd and 8 at the 31-yard line. A look at the 49er linebackers. Jeff McIntyre, who was a doubtful because of a sprained knee, is in there today. Willie Hopper on the right. And Boone, the middle linebacker.
Danny Buns, the star of North Dallas 40, or one of them.
Art Zorn to throw with a penalty marker down. Zorn runs out of the pocket, and he hits the wide receiver McCullum for a first down. Sam McCullum. Taken down by McIntyre and Hopper, but a flag is down, a procedure call against the Seahawks.
Jim Zorn, one of the better scramblers in the National Football League, and he made that play happen, although there was backfield in motion. It'll cost the Seahawks.
We will hear it from the referee, Pat Haggerty. Incidentally, the umpire today is Al Conway. The head linesman is Walt Peters. The line judge, Vern Marshall. The back judge, Jim Poole. The side judge is Dick Creed. And the field judge, Bob Lewis.
Illegal formation. Tackle uncovered. Offense.
2nd and 13 for the Seahawks. Back at their 26-yard line. The 49ers secondary. A host of new names in there as we look back to a year ago at this time.
A lot of changes in the defensive backfield for the Niners.
Rabel is to the right and Larkin out left. And this is Smith. Big hole for Sherman Smith. McIntyre makes the stop on Smith.
Sherman Smith now taking up some of the slack again with the loss of David Sims. And Sherman Smith runs inside as well as any running back in the National Football League. You saw the block on Buns, and Sherman Smith took advantage.
It's a 3rd and 2, and the Seahawks go to the double tight end alignment. Brian Peets and Mark Bell come on. Seattle with a record of 1-4. They come off the loss to Kansas City last week by the score of 24-6. That's perhaps the most disappointing defeat of the season. Here's Gordon battling for a first down. Close to that first down marker. Melvin Morgan, free safety. Dan Boone, middle linebacker, combining to make the stop. The Seahawks losing to San Diego 33-16. Tough loss to Miami 19-10. Beat Oakland 27-10. They're calling for the yardsticks. Lost to Denver 37-34, a game that Mike and I telecast. Seahawks had jumped to that 34-10 lead, and Denver, led by Craig Morton, scored 27 consecutive points.
He's going to be short. Will Jack Patera go for it? He's a gambling type coach, especially on offense, Marv. I don't see a punt team.
No, Patera is going for it. 4th and inches. Seahawks stay with Peets and Bell as the tight end. Fans here in San Francisco trying to urge the 49er defensive unit on. And Dorning tries, but comes up short. So the 49ers appear to have held the Seahawks. We'll have to wait and see. McIntyre and Hartman combining to stack up Dorning. Well, they want the yardsticks once again.
He's got it this time, Marv. They marked it so that he's got the first down. This old special teamer knows when they get him. Not by far, though.
Yes, it is a first down. So the ball, the nose of the football, picking up the first down. And the Seahawks now, first down from just inside the 40-yard line. Rabel is to the right. Largent left in the slot. It's McCullum. The running backs are Smith and Dorning. And the quarterback is Zorn. Play action. Zorn goes sideline and completes to Rabel. First down for Seattle at midfield. Charles Cornelius, the left cornerback, covering on the play.
The offensive mark of the Seattle Seahawks is the play action pass on first down. You fake to the fullback to hold the linebackers. The out pattern to Rabel is wide open, and Jim Zorn on his first pass. He's going to stop those boos in Seattle.
Strange thing, like the 49ers, Seattle usually starts strongly in the first quarter, and then they drop off. Seahawks have outscored their opponents 23-0 in the first quarter. They have died particularly in the fourth quarter. That's Largent in motion. And here's Smith. Looks to turn it. He does. Sherman Smith slipped up, but picked up the first down. Melvin Morgan, the free safety, was able to get Smith, and he just did get him.
And I'll tell you, if Melvin Morgan wouldn't, and he was on the ground when he makes this tackle, outstanding lead block by Coder, 61. And Sherman Smith gets the corner, and that's important in the National Football League. Look at Morgan, 46, laying on his stomach, reaches a hand out, trips him up. Otherwise, Smith had been in the end zone.
It's a 13-yard run by Sherman Smith, who has been averaging 4.5 per pop. First down at the San Francisco 37, 3 minutes in. First quarter, and Zorn goes sideline for Larger down at the 25 and thrown out of bounds at the 20. So the Seahawks moving very well here in the first quarter. Gerard Williams, the right cornerback for the 49ers, made the push out on Largent.
Again, a first down pass. Steve Largent, I'll tell you, one of the finest receivers in the National Football League, and who says you have to have great straight-ahead speed? Largent, not one of your burners, but also one of the best receivers in the NFL.
First down for the Seahawks, just inside the 20-yard line. Largent is off to the right side now. They line up in the I with Smith behind Dornick. McCullum comes left. And here's Sherman Smith off a beautiful fake. Gets inside the 15. Ted Vincent, the left defensive tackle for the 49ers, number 75, making the stop on that man.
And again, you pointed out the outstanding move of Sherman Smith. I said he was an inside runner supreme in the NFL. Look at the little juke that he makes to wait for the hole to be blocked by his offensive lineman. Outstanding job by Bob Newton, who has come in after being injured for the past 2 weeks.
Jeff Moore has come on to replace Smith in the backfield. Second and 3, and this is Dornick with room. Dornick is in for the score. Dan Dornick finding a big hole, and the Seahawks take a 6-0 lead.
You learn when you're running back to cut back against flow. Watch Newton, 78. He blocks Danny Buns, the middle linebacker. Dornick back against flow. And when you get those defenders running the other way, Dornick prances in the end zone. And with Sims hurt, Dornick has filled some big shoes.
Efren Herrera with Jim Zorn to hold. Herrera is 9 for 10 on the season. Thirteen-yard run by Dornick. Herrera with the extra point, and the Seahawks, 4 minutes into the first quarter, have taken a 7-0 lead here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We'll be back with the Seattle kickoff in just a moment. Beautifully executed scoring drive by the Seattle Seahawks. 9 plays, 70 yards. Dornick took it in from 13 yards out, and the Seahawks lead it 7-0. The deep end for San Francisco, James Owens at the bottom of your picture. He is the fleet rookie out of UCLA, and the 4-year pro Paul Hofer of Mississippi. And this is Herrera getting set to kick off. Fielded by Hofer to the 20. And Hofer out to the 28, 29-yard line. Don Dufek, backup secondary man, and Peter Cronin combined to make the stop. Final score, St. Louis defeating Houston 24-17. That's the final as you look at that 49er backfield. The quarterback Steve DeBerg, O.J. Simpson, and Wilbur Jackson are the running backs.
The wide receivers for the Niners, Freddie Solomon, who came from Miami and has done very well. Mike Schumann, a young man who Bill Walsh likes very much. And, of course, the famous Notre Dame tight end, who was the #1 pick here, Ken McAfee.
Schumann goes left, and Solomon right as DeBerg looks to throw on first down, dumps it off to Jackson. Wilbur Jackson tripped up across the 30 by Sammy Green, 4-year pro out of the University of Florida. 49ers love to throw to the running backs.
They picked on the wrong linebacker, though. Sammy Green is the best.
49er offensive line, Singleton, Ayers, Quillen, Cross, who was a questionable with a sprained hip, is in there, and Fonhorst. 7-0 Seahawks on top, 2nd and 7. And Jackson again out to the 36, 37-yard line. Mano Tuiasosopo, also an injured player coming in. Bad knee, did not practice last couple of days, but in there along with Carl Eller as you look at that Seahawk front four. Eller, Robert, Hartburn, Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Bill Gregory.
Carl Eller, his second start.
Linebackers, Green, Beeson, and Butler. It is a 3rd down and 2. 49ers out of the I. Jackson in front of Simpson. And here is O.J. on his first carry. He's got the first down and more across the 45-yard line. Fonhorst, the right tackle, with a good block to to Spring Simpson as Sammy Green came up to make the stop.
Some of the moves of the juice. He still got him. I know that knee is bad and it swells and he doesn't get to practice all week, but you see the quick feet. And he gets to the corner, even breaks a tackle, a bit of an arm tackle. O.J. Simpson, I'd love to see him gain 100 yards.
Comes off the 89-yard effort last week. There you look at those very impressive career totals. Only Jimmy Brown has gained more yardage. Here's DeBerg throwing long. He's got down to the 5 inside the 5. All down by Green and Harris.
Outstanding call by head coach Bill Walsh. He wanted to isolate his tight end, Ken McAfee, on the linebacker. And most linebackers are going to have a tough time keeping up with the big tight ends. It was Sammy Green, who usually covers very well on the pass, but McAfee had him beaten by 15 yards. And he wide open quarterbacks love that. And McAfee's all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and this could be a wild afternoon of scoring.
50-yard pass play. It's a 1st and goal down at the 3 as DeBerg asks for quiet. O.J. going outside, trying to get in, but cannot. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Cornell Webster, the left cornerback, was able to follow Simpson off to the left. Simpson lost his footing, though.
Again, when you do not practice during the week, you tend to take a couple plays before the legs get underneath you. And O.J. slipped right there, and that meant he could never get outside to the corner. Webster had him easily.
It'll be a 2nd and goal at the 3. Phil Francis, rookie out of Stanford, has come on, wearing number 48, replacing Wilbur Jackson. They line up in the I. That's Francis in front of Simpson. And it's O.J. again, and he's in. Simpson on a 3-yard split for his 3rd touchdown of the season, led by Randy Cross and Phil Francis. And the 49ers now trail 7-6.
The reason they bring in Phil Francis is for the lead blocking. Watch 48. He goes in, clears the way for O.J., buries his man, and Simpson has nothing to do but fall across the goal line. And the 49ers are on the board. Here we go.
Well, O.J. has turned up some yardage here in the 1st quarter in his pursuit of Jimmy Brown. That's going to be, I would think, impossible unless there is a miraculous recovery of O.J.'s left knee. Ray Wersching putting it right through, and so we are tied with 7:37 remaining in the 1st quarter. Seattle 7, San Francisco 7.
On Sports World, the WBA heavyweight title is up for grabs as power puncher Jerry Coetzee battles Big John Tate. Then, great teams and great action in the legends of bowling, plus celebrity poker, all on Sports World, October 20th.
The 49er drive, 6 plays, 71 yards in 3.5 minutes. The big play, the 50-yard pass from DeBerg to McAfee. Simpson took it in from 3 yards out, and we're tied at 7.
You just got to look at head coach Bill Walsh, one of the finest coaches of the pass offense ever in the National Football League.
You play for Walsh among your many coaches?
Yes, one of my many stops.
All right, the kickoff by Wersching, and here's Green handling it for the first time as a Seahawk. Good low tackle by Eric Johnson, number 24, a 3-year man out of Washington State, as Tony Green, a guy who has been around Seattle, his 3rd club of the season, handles it for the very first time. As you look at the scoreboard, Kansas City just getting by Cincinnati by the score of 10-7. Giants have defeated Tampa Bay, led by rookie quarterback Phil Simms, so the Buccaneers lose their 1st of the season. Philadelphia convincingly over Washington, 28-17.
Upsets continue in the NFL. Amazing.
1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Jim Zorn, the quarterback. Dornick and Smith are the running backs. Now that's Dornick on a straight-ahead move. Stopped by Ted Vincent, the left defensive tackle. Oh, a punch was thrown. Vincent, the left defensive tackle, had some words with Dornick.
And again, 1-9, the collective record of these two clubs, and that makes for short tempers, and we're going to see it all day.
Personal foul against both the 49ers and the Seahawks. The flare-up began on the last series for Seattle. Back to the scoreboard. New England did not have an easy time with Detroit.
Had to score in the last minute. And there's a surprise. What happened to that Buffalo offense? I'll tell you. Rain, hail, every other kind of weather you can think of.
And Atlanta over Green Bay, 25-7.
You'd expect that score after that big Monday night win by Green Bay.
It is a 2nd and 5 at the 19. Steve Rabel now is flanked to the left side. Here's Smith. Got a hole on the left once again. And off the stutter step move, he picks up the first down. The strong safety, Tim Gray, number 30, made the tackle.
I talked to Bill Walsh prior to the game about his linebacking core. He said nothing. And that's the reason for the outstanding inside running. And Sherman Smith takes advantage and makes the defensive back eventually make the stop.
And Mike, a nice block issued by Dornick to set Smith through.
If you haven't got linebackers in the National Football League, you can't play defense.
Largent right, McCullum left. We're tied at 7, 6.5 to go, first quarter. Here's Dornick. Time to try to go outside and brought down across the 30 by Jeff McIntyre. I mentioned earlier McIntyre was a question mark because of a sprained knee. He is a rookie out of Arizona State, starting at left linebacker with Scott Hilton out of action. Hilton out with a separated shoulder. Another final score. The Cardinals
upset again.
Do it. Beat Houston 24-17.
St. Louis was 1-4 going into that game. They were due for a good one, though.
It's a 2nd and 5 as McCullum goes slot right. Rabel is to the left. Wide man right is Largent. And once again, Zorn hands off, and Dornick is stopped. Dan Dornick stopped at the line of scrimmage. Dan Buns, but a linebacker, right defensive tackle Jimmy Webb, combining to make the play, so it's a 3rd down 5 upcoming.
Webb made an outstanding move that time, and that's the reason Dornick got no yardage. I was a bit surprised. I expected Zorn to throw more than he has, but he's kept it on the ground, and when Sherman Smith is ripping off 13 at a crack, I guess you keep running.
He threw an awful lot against Kansas City last week, 23 for 38, but those are misleading statistics. Many of those completions were dump-offs to his backs. Now Zorn to throw, and he completes it. He's got a first down with Sam McCullum. So Zorn with a perfectly thrown pass as Buns and McIntyre were able to get to number 84. McCullum, a 6-year pro out of Montana State, with his 13th reception of the season, and it's a first down for Seattle at their 43. We're tied at 7. We have 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert and Mike Hafner from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Rabel left, Largent right. That's McCullum moving off to the slot. And a long count by Zorn to throw on first down. Lays it off, but Dornick dropped it. Took his eyes off it, and he's unhappy.
That happens a lot, Marv, especially when you can hear the linebacker bearing down on you. You want to turn around and look quickly so you can make a move on him. And Dornick did it before he had the ball tucked away, and those things will happen. I hate to see receivers drop the ball, though. Oh.
Well, it's something you can relate to. Just kidding, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for that, but I dropped my share.
2nd and 10, out at the 43-yard line. Jeff Moore, again in for Sherman Smith, lined up in the eye right behind Dornick. And here's Moore. Moore with good acceleration out to the 50-yard line. McIntyre makes the stop, so Jeff Moore carrying the ball for only the 4th time this season. He had come in 3 carries, 20 yards, has been disappointing in the kickoff and punt return game. That's the reason that the Seahawks signed Tony Green. Green, you may recall, was a Pro Bowler last year with Washington and then seemingly lost it. Picked up by the Giants early this season, did not do it with the Giants, and was picked up just this past week because Moore had been disappointing. We go to the double tight end alignment for a 3rd and 2 out at midfield. Sherman Smith back in, combining with Dan Dornick. Off the fake, it's Smith going wide. Fumbles it out of bounds. He is close to that first down marker.
And he slipped in the backfield when he was just getting underway. That might have cost him the first down if he didn't make it, but he did. He got past the yard marker, 1st and 10.
It was Melvin Morgan, the free safety, who was able to bump him out of bounds. 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And the Seahawks and the 49ers are tied at 7. On the subject of that Kansas City game last week, the Seahawks, for the first time in a long, long time, heard boos out of the kingdom, a very young Kansas City defensive unit handcuffing that high-powered Seattle offense. They're trying to come back from that. And here's Zorn. Beautiful catch this time by Dornick. Caught it at the hip, but just a short pickup with McIntyre right on the play.
That was nice of Jim Zorn to go back to Dornick on the same pass. He owed him one. This time he made a great catch instead of dropping it. There you see his statistics from last week. 10 passes. That's the Seahawk record. Boy, the running backs are catching a lot of passes these days. Everywhere.
There's Jeff McIntyre, rookie out of Arizona State, the man who caught Dornick, so Dornick only able to pick up a yard. It's a 2nd and 9, and again Jeff Moore is in that Seattle backfield. Largent is to the left, and McCullum goes slot left. Oh, you saw all the movement right there on the handoff, but I don't see a penalty marker down.
Not a flag down. They must say he got back.
We'll get another look at it as Jimmy Webb made the stop.
I don't know if we can see the lineman jump. Yes, there's the nose tackle jumping, but they all got back, did not make it across the offensive line of scrimmage. I'll get that across yet.
It's a 3rd and 8 now. 49ers go 3-4. Bob Martin has come on as the extra linebacker. And Zorn goes for Largent. He's got him! Steve Largent, first down and more, inside the 15-yard line. Strong safety Kim Gray pushed him out of bounds.
Zone defense this time by the San Francisco 49ers in their 3-4 setup. Gerard Williams had the short route, and all Jim Zorn did was throw it over Gerard Williams' head and in front of the deep secondary, and it was an easy completion.
A 32-yard pass play as Steve Largent tops his 17th reception of the season.
27 games in a row now with a catch.
Here's Dornick with lots of room on the outside. Dornick inside the 5. Melvin Morgan, the free safety, and Gerard Williams, the right cornerback, make the stop as you look at Seattle head coach Jack Patera.
One of the reasons that the Seahawks are getting outside as easily as they are is because of the linebacking problems the 49ers have had this season. You don't usually get outside in the NFL, especially against today's great outside linebackers. But you got a rookie on one side and an injured Willie Harper on the other, and that makes it tough.
It's a first down, 1st and goal at the 3. The setbacks of Dornick and Smith. And this is Dornick. And Dornick battles his way in for the score. And Dornick was able to break tackles on the way in, led by the tight ends Peets and Bell. And the Seahawks now lead it 13-7.
I'll tell you, Dan Dornick better go over and thank Sherman Smith, because his lead block on Danny Buns, watch 47, right there on 57 Buns, and you can forget it. Touchdown City. That was Eric Johnson who tried to stop it, 24. And Sherman Smith just blew him out, and Dornick, with his good speed and stability, was in the end zone.
So Dornick has scored both Seattle touchdowns with Zorn holding. Here is Herrera to try for the extra point. We have 2:33 remaining in the first quarter here at Candlestick in San Francisco. And it's the Seattle Seahawks leading the San Francisco 49ers by the score of 14-7. We'll be back in just a moment. Seahawks leading the 49ers now 14-7 as Herrera gets set to kick off to the combination of James Owens and Paul Hofer. That's Hofer at the top of your screen. 2:33 left in the first quarter. And again, a bouncer that is fielded by Owens to the 20. Oh, he goes head over heels up near the 30-yard line. Would you describe that, Mike?
I know he was a world-class long jumper at one time in his career, but that looked like a half gainer with a full twist. And again, those bouncing footballs tend to slow up the coverage, but Owens, there he goes. I'll give that a 9.3.
Sammy Green was the man who unleashed James Owens. It's a first down for the 49ers now at the 28-yard line. They are trailing by the score of 14-7. Running backs are Simpson and Jackson. Here's O.J. Nowhere to go. O.J. Simpson cut off by Keith Simpson, number 42, no relation to O.J. Keith, a second-year pro out of Memphis State who has emerged as a starter at strong safety.
And O.J. Simpson, that time you could see where the left knee bothers him. He couldn't make the break to the outside, and that cost him any yardage.
5 minutes and 4 seconds for that last Seattle scoring drive, capped off by Dorning, taking it in for his second score of the afternoon. It's a 2nd and 10 for San Francisco at their 28-yard line. Now DeBerg throwing the middle. Oh, and a beautiful catch is made for a first down by Freddie Solomon. Freddie Solomon, the 5-year pro out of Tampa University. Stopped by middle linebacker Terry Beeson. It's a first down at the 40.
One of the hardest receptions to make for a wide receiver is to come back from the direction he is moving in. And Steve DeBerg threw this behind Freddie Solomon. Solomon had to go backwards. He was coming towards your screen. Had to go back and catch it. That takes great concentration and great athletic ability.
Now Owens is wide right. The tight end is Brewer now. McAfee started the game. And here's Simpson. Trying to pick his way through and does. Nice move by O.J. through a crowd out to the 46. Keith Butler, the right linebacker, made the stop and a good block by the right tackle, Fonhorst.
O.J. Simpson can find the smallest cracks to get into. He has that great sense, 11 years of running behind great offensive lines and gaining big yardage, and he made the perfect move to gain the 5 yards they needed.
6-yard carry for O.J., who comes off that 89-yard effort last week against San Diego. 2nd and 4. Phil Francis in the lineup, replacing Wilbur Jackson as Owens now goes to the left side. 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Here's Simpson again, and he's got the first down. O.J. looking very sharp here in the first quarter. Terry Beeson, the middle linebacker, makes the stop.
And again, O.J. Simpson, as soon as he gets a few carries, the knee starts to warm up. And he starts enjoying it when he sees the blocking out front. O.J. Simpson can still run the football even on one leg.
Nice block by the left guard, John Ayers. Time running down in this first quarter, and you have just seen the final play of the quarter. At the end of one, the score, San Francisco trailing Seattle 14-7. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
The Frederick & Nelson store-wide fall sale. Save from 10 to 70% at one of 1979's biggest savings events. Save 22 to 25% on elegant table lamps from Stifel. From 16 to 35% on Royal Classic towels from Canon. 1/3 off selected men's suits, jackets, and slacks. Save 24% on women's winter coats. Save from 10 to 70% throughout the store. Now through Sunday, October 14th at the Frederick & Nelson store-wide fall sale.
Watch the Seahawks here on King 5.
Back in San Francisco, California, Marv Albert with Mike Hafner. 1 quarter in, and the Seahawks lead the 49ers 14-7. As we pick it up, San Francisco ball first down at the Seattle 47-yard line. The quarterback is Steve DeBerg. The running backs are O.J. Simpson and Wilbur Jackson as O.J. cuts to the left. And DeBerg swings it out for Jackson. Bumped out of bounds by Keith Simpson.
We're seeing two offensive-minded football clubs, maybe because their defenses aren't that good. But throwing on first down is a sign that you are an offensive club, and both teams have done it consistently.
A 2nd and 6 coming up now for San Francisco. Setting that line again. Singleton and Fonhorst at the tackles. Ayers and Cross the guards. The center is Quillen. Second down play for DeBerg, 3-year pro out of San Jose State, who has completed 59%. He's tied with Archie Manning of New Orleans as 4th in the NFC. Ground game again for Jackson, stopped by the middle linebacker, Terry Beeson.
And Terry Beeson is the man against the running game. He plays it very, very well. His weakness has been against the pass, and I would imagine Steve DeBerg will take advantage of that all afternoon.
2-yard pickup for Jackson, 3rd and 4 at the 41. Now O.J. getting a breather.
49ers need this first down for their mental attitude. They can score. They're a good offensive team. They just can't stop the Seahawks today.
Lone setback is Jackson. And DeBerg fires, intended for Schumann. Nearly caught by Harris, who did not expect that kind of bullet.
I think Schumann might have caught that one. DeBerg looking over to the sidelines, not wanting Coach Bill Walsh to punt it away. But it went right through Schumann's hands, although it was tipped. And if it had moved off its path, it's not Schumann's fault.
So Dan Melville will come on for the first time. Rookie out of the University of California. As you look at Tony Green. Green, a second-year pro from the University of Florida. The stats on Melville as he gets set. He'll punt from his 45-yard line. A high hop for Green, and wisely lets it go. Not much he could do as Melville puts the Seahawks back within their 15-yard line. And there's a break in the action right here. Opening minute of play, second quarter, with the Seahawks leading it 14-7. Marv Albert with Mike Hafner back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We're early second quarter, but Mike being back here must bring back a lot of big memories for you.
I think I dropped a couple touchdown passes here back in 1970.
All right, back to the field where the Seattle Seahawks have a 14-7 lead and a first down back at their 13-yard line. McCullum is slot left now for Seattle. So movement in the line on that handoff to Dornick. Dan Dornick with a straight-ahead move.
Again, they got back before the snap. Nobody crossed the offensive line of scrimmage. Notice how I got that down now.
Dan Buns making the stop on the play. A 5-yard pickup. It'll be a 2nd and 5 at the 18. Seahawks come in with a season record of 1-4. Last week losing to Kansas City at home by the score of 24-6. They are 3rd offensively in the AFC, 3rd in passing, 5th in rushing. But their major problem has been defensively. Here's Dornick. Tries to cut back. Hit down at the 19-yard line. Vincent and Saraceno combined to make the stop. So it's a pickup of 1, and we'll have a 3rd and about 3.
Bill Walsh must have been listening. His linebackers have been playing horribly up to this point, so he puts Gordy Saraceno in the lineup. First thing he does is stop that sweep that's been killing him.
Ball is placed across the 20-yard line. Mark Bell has come on now as the double tight end. Dornick has carried it 12 times for 49 yards, so he's off to a fine start here in the first half. Jeff Moore stopped by that San Francisco front line. Jeff Moore seen quite a bit of playing time here this afternoon. He's been spelling Sherman Smith, getting a shot in the backfield. Willie Hopper, the right side linebacker, was there to greet Moore.
And again, if they stop the off-tackle and outside running plays, it's because of the linebackers. And Willie Harper, out of Nebraska, the man that made the stop.
Herman Weaver, who had 2 blocked last week by Kansas City. Kicking away to the combination of Dungy and Solomon. And this is Solomon to the 45, and Plowden as he crossed that 45-yard line. The 49ers now will go back to work. 42-yard punt by Weaver. And we have a timeout. We'll be back here at Candlestick in San Francisco in a moment.
Next Sunday, start your day with NFL 79, followed by regional coverage of exciting NFL action. Telecasts include Joe Ferguson leading the Bills against the Dolphins, the Patriots-Bears battle, and Seattle's Zorn-Largent combo challenging the Chargers.
Next Sunday here on NBC, an outstanding lineup of NFL action. First of all, at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, NFL 79 with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle, and a look at Wild West football, Canadian style in Calgary. The early games, Buffalo at Miami, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. At 10:30 Pacific time, New England playing at Chicago and Houston at Baltimore. And at 12:30, it'll be Seattle at San Diego and Denver at Kansas City.
That one ought to be a big, important interdivisional game, as will the Seattle-San Diego game.
49ers back to the offense. We're 3 minutes in, second quarter. San Francisco trailing Seattle 14-7. This is Simpson. Bumped with his own man. Penalty marker down as O.J. was able to cut back. Some pretty footwork by Simpson to get to midfield. Dave Brown, the right cornerback, tripped him up, but there is a flag down.
You saw 11 years of experience at running back that time. But it's all going to come back.
We'll get the call from the referee, Pat Haggerty. O.J. in a collision in his backfield with some white and red uniforms.
Number 71, offense, first down.
Keith Fonhorst, the right tackle, is called for the hold.
Let's see if we can see the holding. Again, it's O.J. on the sweep to his right, and the Seahawks play it well, and oh yes, had a hand 2 yards of jersey in his hand. Barnhorst got caught. O.J. sure made something out of nothing.
And it was Fonhorst who Simpson ran into. You see the penalty markers down. Look to be Tuiasa Sopo. Number 74 will have his number called in just a moment.
You got Tuiasa Sopo down cold now.
Offside, defense, 77.
He said 77, but our crack camera crew proves that it's number 74, Tuiasa Sopo.
Phil Francis has come on now.
Defense, number 77, first down.
Well, he says Gregory, number 77, the right defensive end, will stay with Tuiasa Sopo.
Our cameraman can't be fooled.
And it's a first down. And 15 back at the 41-yard line. Here's DeBerg looking for Owens, and he changed his mind and completes to McAfee. McAfee near the first down marker. Keith Butler, the right linebacker, making the stop on the play. Ken McAfee tried to move that football up a couple of yards. Did not work. It is still short of a first down, about 1.5 yards to go.
You saw the classic reading quarterback. He got to look over the entire secondary, and eventually, after great protection, found McAfee for almost first down.
And DeBerg is now 5 for 6 for 85 yards, so he has those impressive statistics going for him here in the first half. This time, Simpson. And O.J. battles for the first down. He's mighty close. We'll have to see Sammy Green in on the stop. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. Just short of a first down. It will be a third and this much. Pittsburgh leading Cleveland 30-14 in the third.
Well, what happens when the Steelers get healthy?
That's true. 10.5 remaining. Second quarter. Seattle leads San Francisco 14-7. And yes, the first down picked up by Phil Francis. A diving move by the rookie out of Stanford.
Quick opening play. And Phil Francis, again, a great lead blocker and also a power back. And he finds and dives over. That one I'll give a 9.3. Go for the first down.
Phil Francis, who has had an injury-plagued career, particularly collegiately. Denver leads San Diego 7-0 in the third. Mike Schumann is out to the left side for his first from the 41. DeBerg off the beautiful fake Solomon on the end around, but it does not click. Bill Gregory was right there to stop Solomon.
The defensive play was for Gregory to stay at home in his defensive position. All that faking and everything, Gregory didn't fall for it, and it cost him. I thought maybe New Orleans would come back this week, but the Rams are definitely in control of that one.
Archie Manning coming off the good day against the Giants last Sunday. Giants today upsetting Tampa Bay with Giant rookie quarterback Phil Simms out of Morehead State leading the attack. It's a 2nd and 7 at the 38 for the 49ers. Here's Simpson with a beautiful move. O.J. short of the first down, led by the left guard John Ayers, was stopped by Beeson and Green.
O.J. Simpson, throughout his 11-year career in the National Football League, has been noted for that burst of speed. He avoids the tackler. Now he sees the hole. There's the burst, and that gave him an extra 2 or 3 yards.
It's a 6-yard pickup for Simpson, and a 3rd and 1 at the 32. Baltimore Colts leading the New York Jets 10-3. Every week we say Ted Marchibroda's job is on the line. Every week the Colts lose. This time the Colts in front, but they have been a good club early in the contest. Wilbur Jackson with Sammy Green making the stop. Very, very close.
About a yard to go for the first down, and if I were Bill Walsh, I'd go for this first down. His club needs it for their emotion, and he's going for it. Good call, William.
Francis has come on, replacing Jackson. Dennis Boyd, left defensive end, has come on for Carl Eller. He is just off injured reserve, reactivated, replacing Ernie Price, who was dropped. And Boyd is in there along with Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Gregory. Here's Simpson, and he's picked up the first down.
Another outstanding call by Bill Walsh. This time Francis was the lead blocker, and they ran misdirection. O.J., all he had to do was dive over the pile for the first.
It is a first down at the 29-yard line. So O.J., who did look good last week after a couple of so-so efforts, looking very sharp here in the first half.
Again, just his presence on the field scares defensive linebackers.
84, Schumann in motion. DeBerg looking the other way, and he's got Simpson. Here's O.J. falling down. He slipped inside the 25, but blocked by the center, Fred Quillen.
And he's sitting there saying, oh, if I wouldn't have slipped, I could have got another 15 or 20.
It's a 5-yard pickup. It'll be a 2nd and 5 at the 24. Setting the Seahawks defensively, Boyd, Hardy, Tuiasosopo, and Gregory are up front. A reminder, Sports World, 2 weeks from yesterday, October the 20th, 2 of the hardest hitters in boxing going toe-to-toe for the WBA heavyweight title. Undefeated John Tate going up against Harry Coetzee from Pretoria, South Africa.
Can go either way. I don't know if Seattle was drawn offside or if they jumped by themselves. I'll have to wait for Mr. Haggerty.
Well, offside against Seattle, says Pat Haggerty.
I think it was Tuiasosopo again, 74. It is 75, Robert Hardy. I think both of them jumped, but they caught Hardy. You're talking about that heavyweight championship fight, Mark.
Defense. First down.
You and Dr. Ferdy Pacheco will be over there for that one. Ought to be exciting.
It will be. In fact, speculation is that Larry Holmes will go against the winner. Although he says if it's Coetzee, he will not fight him in South Africa. All right, first down at the 19-yard line. And the Burgers wallop. Keith Butler ramming him. Butler with the jarring move, and it was Dennis Boyd taking it all the way down, stopped by Singleton. DeBerg never saw Butler.
Blitzed by the linebacker. DeBerg never saw him coming from the weak side. He wasn't picked up by the running back. A perfect call on defense. The ball pops up in the air, and Boyd is there, Johnny on the spot. But Butler was the main man on the pass rush. You'll see nobody touches him. He's got a straight shot at DeBerg's back, trying to hit O.J. in the flat, and there's Dennis Boyd, who is just back off injured reserve. And I'll tell you, defensive linemen love it when they get a chance to run the football.
Not a bad move for a guy 6'5", 255 pounds. Ron Singleton, the left tackle for the 49ers, the man who made the stop on Dennis Boyd, obviously shaken up and helped to the sideline. And that was ruled an interception, so DeBerg is picked off for the 9th time this year, but it was the jarring move on the blitz by the linebacker, Keith Butler, setting up the Seahawks in excellent position right here on first down. Penalty marker down as Rabel picks off that Zorn pass down at the 30-yard line.
Holding against the Seattle Seahawks offensive line. There's Pat Haggerty. Good call by Zorn. You get a turnover, you want to go up top. Nobody was open deep. Well, he dumped it off, but the holding penalty will cost the Seahawks.
Just under 6 remaining of the first half, and Seattle leading San Francisco by the score of 14-7. This is the 4th penalty against the Seahawks. And here's Haggerty.
We have holding, number 61, offense, first down.
The left guard, Tom Lynch, 3-year man out of Boston College, is called for the hold and puts it back at the 48, and it'll be a 1st and 20. Dan Dorning has scored both Seattle touchdowns, 13-yard run, and then the short pop from 3 yards out. O.J. Simpson took it in from 3 for the 49ers, following a 50-yard pass play between DeBerg and the tight end McAbee. All right, Dorning, as Zorn tried to cross the 49ers up, is hit for a loss. Al Cowlings and Dwayne Ford coming in from the right side, and obviously the 49ers were not fooled.
A little misdirection will work if you've got the defensive club moving away from the carrier each time, but that time 49ers weren't fooled, as you said, Marv.
It's a 4-yard loss. It'll be a 2nd and 24 out at midfield. Now Lodgett to the left, Rabel is right, McCullum is in the slot. Smith and Dorning are the running backs. And Zorn on the run is able to fire a leaping catch made by Largent. Steve Largent picked up the first down. He was pushed back the other way. That was a beautifully executed play.
Jim Zorn on the scramble, and that gives your receivers time to get depth against the defensive backs. And then, like all great receivers, Steve Largent coming back to his quarterback who is scrambling. And when you come back to the ball, it's no chance for the defensive back. The one problem, though, is Largent may have hurt his ankle on that play, limped off, and he's been replaced. There he is. He's telling the trainer, I turned it outside. It hurts.
First down at the 27-yard line. McCullum is now to the right side, but the handoff for Dorning. Short pickup for the 2nd-year pro out of Washington State, who's averaging better than 3 per carry. Ted Vincent, left defensive tackle, linebacker Gordy Saraceno combining to make the stop.
Sherman Smith had the lead block that time, and he couldn't find a man to block, and he got in the way, and that cost Dornick some starting speed.
Picked up about a yard, 2nd and 9. Number 86, Jesse Green, recent addition to the Seattle roster, has come on now as the extra wide receiver. Green is to the right, and Rabel left. McCullum in the slot. Again, long count by Zorn. Here's Smith. Found some running room and then try to cut back the other way. Saraceno and Vincent stopping Sherman Smith. Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
This is KING-TV, Seattle.
It'll be a 3rd and 5 down at the 22. This is Marv Albert with Mike Hafner from Candlestick Park, San Francisco, California. 3 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Seahawks on 2 touchdowns by Dan Dorning lead the 49ers on a touchdown by O.J. Simpson by the score of 14-7. And Zorn to throw. Throws to Dorning. A wobbly pass pulled down by Dorning, and it's a 1st and goal for the Seahawks. Dorning stopped by Saraceno, but a 1st and goal is set up.
Tremendous control and poise by Jim Zorn. Watch the great pressure on him. I mean, they got the whole 49er front 4 in on him, and he just barely got it away to Dornick. But Dornick proved last week with 10 receptions that he's the man to look for when you're in trouble.
It is a 1st and goal down at the 7. John Yarno leads the Seahawks to the line. Zorn is now 7 for 8, 111 yards. So off to a superb first half.
No more booze in Seattle.
Here's Smith. Shed one tackler inside the 5, and he's in. Smith just getting in the right-hand corner. Melvin Morgan, the free safety, could not stop him.
And again, the 49er linebackers were caught up in the big mishmash at the line of scrimmage. He breaks to the outside, and there isn't anybody there to stop him except defensive backs, and they're not expected to stop the running game. They're there to stop the pass. Watch Sherman Smith. A missed tackle there. Now he breaks to the outside, and where are the linebackers? All stuck up inside, and Smith prances in.
Seahawks now lead it 20-7. As Herrera will try and make it 3 for 3 on the day. Zorn is holding. Penalty marker is down. The kick is good, but there is a flag down. And the officials will talk it over.
Ball start, offensive tackle.
Ball start by the Seahawks. They will kick it again.
It was Bebout who jumped before the ball was snapped. And on an extra point, there are no signals. You say ready, set, and you don't move until you see the ball snap. And Bebout's been out on the injured reserve. He doesn't have the timing down, and it cost him.
They move it back, and Herrera will try once more.
He gets the natural turf now to pick it up instead of the pitcher's mound.
And Herrera puts it through, so the Seattle Seahawks now lead the San Francisco 49ers by the score of 21-7. 2:46 remaining in this first half. Back in a moment. A reminder, coming up in 2 weeks, Saturday, October the 20th on NBC Sports World from Pretoria, South Africa, undefeated Harry Coetzee and John Tate. They go toe-to-toe for the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World. Also action with the Legends of Bowling, plus if time permits, a celebrity poker tournament with people like Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Gabe Kaplan. All this and more, October 20th on Sports World. The kickoff by Efren Herrera. And this is Owens, and decides to stay right there, and here's it from the crowd. He had a lot of running room, Mike.
I don't like that. You've got a chance to score a touchdown if you can break it. You can't score when you got your knee down in the end zone. Not a wise choice.
Rookie out of UCLA, James Owens, who has been a disappointment.
Take a look at from the end zone, and you'll see how much room James Owens had. And I'll tell you, if I was a young rookie out of UCLA, like I was once upon a time, I'd have been running like the wind.
21-7. A slow win, says our producer, Roy Hammerman. Good, Roy.
You saw me play, huh, Roy?
Here's DeBerg off the play action, going deep downfield for Sullivan. And let's see who has the football. It's ruled incomplete. Cornell Webster and Freddie Sullivan battling for it, and it's incomplete.
The tie goes to the receiver if it's caught, but I think that ball bounced on the ground. Out of Denver, we have a report that Norris Weiss, the starting quarterback, has been replaced by Craig Morton. We saw that 2 weeks ago. The Seattle fans will remember it. Weiss has an injured knee.
2 weeks ago, Morton came on and threw 3 touchdown passes within 2.5 minutes, leading to that incredible come-from-behind victory over the Seattle Seahawks. 2nd and 10 here for the 49ers. 2.5 left in this first half. San Francisco trailing 21-7. And DeBerg to throw again. This time lays it off. Bill Francis stopped by Larry Pulowski as Francis came out of the backfield, and it's spotted out of the 27-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 3.
And in that Broncos-San Diego game, it's Denver 7, San Diego nothing. San Diego, one of the better offensive clubs in the NFL. The Bronco defense must have come alive.
We are approaching the 2-minute mark. And now the indication. So with 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, the Seahawks lead the 49ers 21-7. Steve DeBerg, 7 for 10 thus far, 97 yards. He's going with the backfield of Wilbur Jackson and O.J. Simpson. 2 minutes left first half. Seahawks lead it 21-7. Seahawks during preseason play walloped the 49ers by the score of 55-20. It was 55-0 at one point.
They had a whole new defensive backfield, and Jim Zorn took advantage.
All right, DeBerg on the run's got Jackson. Jackson with open field with the first down or more. Run out of bounds near midfield by the left cornerback, Cornell Webster.
I'll tell you, Steve DeBerg could have run and gotten that much yardage, but they paid Jackson to run the football and catch the football. DeBerg did the smart thing. No knee injuries when you're not carrying it. And he caught him in that prevent defense, and the short pass goes then. And Jackson did a wise thing. He got out of bounds and saved a timeout. Could be important.
In fact, that play took only 7 seconds, setting up a first down. They spotted at the 47-yard line. Solomon is out to the right side. Here's Simpson, though, and Simpson gets to the 50. That sets up a 2nd and 7. As O.J. picked up 3 on the play. Hurry-up offense being utilized now by the 49ers. The left guard, John Ayers, led Simpson. Minute and a half remaining in this first half. And DeBerg will put it up. Now he swings it again for Jackson, and Jackson lunges out to the 45. Short of a first down, and now the 49ers call for time. Timeout called by San Francisco with 1 minute and 24 remaining in this first half. And the Seahawks leading it by the score of 21-7. We'll be back right after these words. San Francisco ball as we resume following their timeout, and the 49ers have 2 timeouts remaining, 1 minute 24 left in this first half, and the 49ers have a 3rd and 1 at the Seattle 44.
There's no better coach than Bill Walsh for this 2-minute drill. I saw him in his days at Cincinnati and at San Diego. He can do it. He knows how to get the yardage and save the timeout.
Solomon left, Schumann right. DeBerg goes to the ground. Wilbur Jackson able to break a tackle and picks up the first down right near the 40-yard line. Right cornerback Dave Brown makes the stop again. The 49ers in their hurry-up offense. 1 minute 10 remaining now in this first half. And DeBerg will throw, fires from the right. Schumann, the intended receiver, nearly intercepted by Cornell Webster.
Cornell Webster, an outstanding athletic move. Dove through the air and batted that away, and coaches will tell cornerbacks, you can make that diving interception or knockdown, but you better get the football, because if you don't, he's in the end zone.
2nd and 10 at the 40 with 1 minute and 2 remaining. I mentioned that preseason wipeout by the Seahawks over the 49ers. These two clubs have met only once before during the course of the regular season, that back in 1976. In Seattle, and San Francisco won it 37-21. They have met 4 times in preseason, and Seattle has won 3 of the 4, including that 55-20 victory this past preseason. Now DeBerg went, looked short and then went the middle, short of a first down though. Solomon, the receiver, Beeson stopped him. Clock is running, 50 seconds remaining. 49ers do have the 2 timeouts remaining. And now again over the middle, and Francis has the first down and much more. Should have gone out of bounds to stop the clock, but did not.
Bad move by Francis. He got wide open. He was tight-roping down the sidelines. He should have stepped out and again saved another timeout, but his feet slipped out from under him. Again, the way to beat the prevent defense is underneath. And now you see Francis, he tripped himself. Nobody even touched him, and it cost him a timeout. It cost his club a timeout by not keeping his feet.
San Francisco now calling for time, so they have 1 left. With 37 seconds remaining in this first half, a break in the action. We'll be back in just a moment.
There are usually 9 or 10 infants playing, laughing, learning what it feels like to be loved. We can't show you their faces because they are victims of child abuse and neglect. I'm country demon of the Seattle Seahawks. And this is the Seattle Day Nursery, an agency supported by United Way. Here, they give love back to little children whose parents have agreed to seek help. In many cases, they were often abused or neglected themselves as children. No one knows how many abused children there are. But here in Seattle, there's a small ray of hope, thanks to a lot of volunteers who want to share the meaning of love. Thanks to them, thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. San Francisco now with one timeout left, 37 seconds remaining in the first half. Seattle leading it by the score 21-7. And a first down for the 49ers down at the Seattle 17-yard line. DeBerg swings it off to Wendell Elliott and not able to come up with a football. Carl Eller was covering on the play.
They sent all their receivers on crossing patterns to the left, tried to set it up for Wendell Elliott, who came over from Cincinnati, and Bill Walsh remembers him when he coached the offense in Cincinnati.
Elliott spent 6 years with the Bengals, 7-year pro out of Northeast Missouri State, and a good receiver. He has caught 10 for 78 yards.
Not a good throw that time, though. Tough to catch those. Down low at your feet behind you.
DeBerg is 11 for 16, 144 yards. Has Schumann now to the right side on the 2nd and 10 at the 17. Goes the middle, nearly picked off. Solomon not able to hold on, and Beeson had a crack at it.
Again, a poor throw by Steve DeBerg. Solomon, they tried to hide him from a split-end spot. He's in real tight. You'll see him fake a little bit of a block, and he's trying to sneak under the coverage. But watch DeBerg's throw. It's way behind him, and those are tough to catch. We talked about that in the first quarter when Solomon had DeBerg throw it behind him.
A 3rd and 10 and a timeout called by the 49ers. Bill Walsh wanted to talk it over with Steve DeBerg, so the timeout is called.
And what he's saying to Steve is, give us the opportunity for points. He doesn't want the interception. Obviously, they're not going to run the football, so they won't fumble. But DeBerg has had problems throwing into a crowd. Now they'll talk to Terry Beeson and say, you be in that line.
A look at tonight's lineup here on NBC. Starting at 7, it'll be Disney's Wonderful World, Part 2 of the $1 Million Duck, starring Dean Jones. On the big event, Ray Lady Down, Charlton Heston, David Carradine, and Prime Time Sunday with Tom Snyder coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. All here on NBC. 28 seconds remaining in the first half. Terry Beeson, who nearly picked off that pass that Solomon was not able to hang on to, as you saw just a moment ago, chatting over at the Seattle bench. As DeBerg returns, Steve DeBerg spent all of the past off-season rehabilitating had an injured knee that was actually suffered in the final game of the season last year.
And it's cost him. His feet have been slow, and that doesn't help you when you're throwing.
Here's a 3rd and 10 for DeBerg and the 49ers. Movement and a penalty marker down. Off the reverse. Owens goes to the left side. Owens able to keep going. Owens with a spectacular move. But we'll have to wait and see what that flag was all about.
James Owens, a UCLA alumnus out there running the reverse. And you better tackle that young man. Again, I mentioned he was a world-class long jumper, so you know he's got the powerful legs. What'd they do, Pat Haggerty? What did they do?
Defense, number 71, offside, return. Wait a minute.
Well, it's the old pro, Carl Eller, offside. There it is.
Our camera crew right on it again. Eller jumped offside. There's Simpson on the fake sweep. Now back to Owens, and watch this young man. You don't think he's an athlete? Look at these moves. Great quick feet there to beat Keith Butler, the outside linebacker, and he even beat him twice. Bill Gregory couldn't hold on to him. Now the 49ers are knocking.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Here's DeBerg. looking to throw on the run, can't find anyone. And the clock is running as Bill Cook covered up. They'll try to get the field goal unit in. Now the clock has stopped with 9 seconds.
Because the quarterback was down. Every time the quarterback is sacked, and they count that as a sack, now the clock starts up.
This will be a 25-yard attempt, and Wershing is able to hit it. Ray Wershing, with 0 remaining on the clock, able to hit the 25-yard field goal. Well, the 49ers nearly blew an opportunity for a score, as DeBerg could not get it in on 1st and goal from the 6, but they leave the field now trailing the Seahawks by the score of 21-10. At halftime, Seattle Seahawks 21 and the San Francisco 49ers 10. We are at halftime at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. For Seattle, 2 touchdowns by Dan Dornick, 1 by Sherman Smith. And for San Francisco, a 3-yard TD run by O.J. Simpson. And just before the final gun, a 25-yard field goal by Ray Wershing. So at the half, the score, Seattle 21 and San Francisco 10. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Okay, let's check the Mariner news. Tough game last night. Let's check the football headlines. Last night, hello, Mr. Sports. Babe Ruth. It wasn't?
When it comes to sports, most radio stations give you a one-man show. But the KVI sports page gives you a whole team who bring you the inside story on sports for 2 hours every weeknight. The KVI 570 sports page, weeknights at 6. Because we don't think one man can do it all.
Hello, Mr. Sport.
This 1979 National Football League game is brought to you by Schlitz. Make the most of now. From the life you live to the beer you drink. Go for it. By Radio Shack, the nationwide supermarket of sound. By Chrysler Corporation. See the mileage makers at your Dodge or Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent.
Mike, right at the end of that first half, in fact, with 0 on the clock, 49ers able to get on the board on the 25-yard field goal by Ray Wershing. Do you think that will have any effect at all in the second half?
Certainly it will. Anytime you score just before halftime, that will help you coming out in the third quarter emotionally. 49ers need all the help they can get.
All right, 49ers trailing at halftime to the Seattle Seahawks by the score of 21-10. Right now, let's go to NFL 79 in New York for an update from Brian Gumbel.
Sunday number 6, a Sunday of frustration for some NFL coaches, particularly for this man, John McKay, head of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Billy Taylor over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Giants upset the Buccaneers, gained their first victory of the year. After 6 weeks, no team is unbeaten. Meanwhile, down in Houston, Bum Phillips had to look on as his Oilers came up empty against the Cardinals, 24-17. St. Louis a winner. Wayne Morris right here, one of their scores. The Oilers had a chance to move into a tie for first in the AFC Central, but they have missed that chance. Hello again, everybody. Brian Gumbel along with Mike Adamle. Let's get you all caught up on just what is happening week number 6. The young Kansas City Chiefs moved to 4-2, win their 3rd straight, beat the Bengals, who remain winless.
In the Meadowlands, Phil Simms, his first NFL start, didn't have a great day, only 37 yards passing, but it didn't matter because he had Mr. Taylor to hand off to.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles moved to a 5-1 record, get 4 touchdowns from Wilbert Montgomery, beat the Redskins 28-17.
New England Patriots, they continue to be hard to figure. Another tough game today, 24-17 over Detroit.
How good is Walter Payton? He's all the Bears have. 39 carries, 155 yards. The defense shut out the Bills, 7-0 Bears.
And the Green Bay Packers, they're as big a puzzle as the Patriots. Today they laid down against Atlanta 25-7. 3 Tim Mazzetti field goals, the difference in that one.
As noted, the Oilers came up empty at home. That's a tough one to figure. Big upset. St. Louis a winner 24-17.
The battle of 4-1 teams, and on Lake Erie, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland, 44-21. Frank O'Hara, 71-yard touchdown run. Rocky Blyer, a 70-yard touchdown run.
The Chargers are averaging 28 points a game, but they're coming up up empty against Denver at 7-0 in the fourth quarter.
Los Angeles, New Orleans, 28-17 in the fourth quarter. 2 Pat Hayden touchdowns, the difference here.
The Colts are still searching for victory number 1. They're on top right now, 10-6 in the fourth.
Dallas, Minnesota, 30-20, that game also in the fourth quarter.
And Seattle against San Francisco. San Francisco still winless through these weeks. Seattle's out in front, 21-10. That ball game is at the half. You are caught up on Sunday number 6. We've still got a second half of football to come, and we'll get to it right after this commercial break.
Back in San Francisco, Marv Albert with Mike Hafner. Seahawks leading it by the score of 21-10 as we get set for the kickoff.
And I talked to O.J. Simpson prior to the game about that celebrated knee injury of his. Let's talk to O.J. O.J., everybody in the country wants to know about the knee. Give us a background on it and how it's feeling.
Well, it's feeling pretty good. I have some problems with it because it swells up. Like after the game, it'll swell up. If I work real hard during the week, Wednesday is our big offensive day, so I work hard on Wednesday, so it swells up a little bit, so I can't work too hard on Thursday. So I try to keep a balance. I try to get enough work in on Mondays and Wednesdays and try to lay off it a little bit the latter part of the week so the swelling to go down. It hurts my conditioning somewhat, but it's what I got to do to play.
Thanks, partner.
Thank you.
And O.J. has looked sharp in the first half, 37 yards, 10 carries, averaging just under 4 yards per carry. However, his club is trailing here, 21-10, as we await the kickoff from Efren Herrera. And the ball is toppled from the tee, so he'll have to tee it up once again. Back deep for the San Francisco 49ers, Paul Hofer and James Owens, as you look at the halftime statistics.
Fairly even time of possession, right close together. 216 yards for the Seahawks, 209 for the 49ers.
And the kickoff is a short one, taken by Owens to the 20. With a surge, 2 men are back as Owens races to midfield. Well, I said earlier it's been a disappointing first year for James Owens, but he has had 2 sparklers here today.
And again, we see a kicker who saves the touchdown. Owens, tremendous speed, a great sprinter, world-class sprinter out of UCLA, a running back who has been moved to wide receiver. He breaks to the outside. Steve Rabel and Efren Herrera make the tackle. I haven't seen 2 kickers make the tackle in one game in a long time.
A 41-yard run by James Owens. First down for San Francisco at the Seattle 48-yard line. Beautiful fake, Wilbur Jackson. Off the fake from DeBerg with a first down and much more. So Jackson, the 5-year man out of Alabama, who's been averaging about 3 per carry, adding to the stats right there, setting up a first down at the Seattle 34-yard line.
Good call by Steve DeBerg. They've been going outside with very much success. This time just a quick handoff and fake the outside pitch. Wilbur Jackson found a hole, and he's got the speed to get in the secondary.
Simpson and Jackson are the running backs. The tight end is Brewer as we reset the San Francisco 49ers. Again, it's Jackson. 4-yard advance, makes a 2nd and 6 out at the 30-yard line. In the first half, the Seattle scoring on 2 touchdowns by Dornick, one on a 13-yard run, the other on a 3-yard plunge. Sherman Smith scored the other Seattle touchdown. O.J. Simpson for the 49ers, and the 25-yard field goal by Ray Wersching closed it off with 0 on the clock. O.J. down to the 26-yard line. Sammy Green, number 56, making the stop on the play.
We talked about the emotion advantage that San Francisco would have coming out at halftime because of that field goal with no time left. They get a great return to the kickoff. They've had 2 excellent running plays, one by Jackson, one by Simpson, but they must score on this drive to keep that emotion up.
It is a 3rd and about 1. Phil Francis, number 48, has come on to join Simpson in the backfield. Here's O.J. picking up the first down and more inside the 20-yard line. John Harris, the free safety, making the stop. Randy Cross and Keith Farnhorst leading it off the right side.
It's kind of like Arnold Palmer in golf. It's O.J. Simpson running the football. Every time he gets his hands on it, I get goosebumps because the man still has the moves despite 11 years of bruising, tackles, and serious injury.
And you have to wonder about O.J.'s knees on this very hard artificial turf. Although the last couple of weeks he has looked just fine. Wilbur Jackson got the call right there.
Artificial turf will run anyone out. Of course, this is prescription athletic turf, natural grass, and that's an advantage for O.J. He played on artificial surface all the time at home when he was in Buffalo. Here he has natural turf, and that will help his knee.
Jackson might have picked up a half yard as you look at the Simpson story. for the day. 12 rushes, 50 yards. 2nd and 9 outside the 16. Francis back in, combining with Simpson. Backs are split now. And here's Francis off the big hole. 1st and goal for San Francisco. Free safety John Harris making the tackle. Left guard Ayers, center Quillen, opening up that big hole for Bill Francis.
One of the reasons that Francis got into the secondary so quickly, they faked the pitch out to O.J. Simpson. It drew the linebackers, and then Francis was able to pick his way.
A hand for Francis, 7th round draft pick. Rookie out of Stanford, who had carried the ball only 6 times coming into today.
Bill Walsh remembered him. He coached at Stanford and brought him to the 49ers.
1st and goal. Now Simpson to the 5. So a 2-yard advance. It'll be a 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line, and Francis returns to the lineup, replacing Jackson.
And again, the reason for Francis in the backfield is to block for O.J. Simpson. Another reason they fooled the Seahawk defense when Francis broke that inside running play.
We are early 3rd quarter, and the 49ers looking to get on the board, trailing by the score of 21-10. Here's DeBerg, and it's intercepted, picked off by Sammy Green, and a foot race now, being chased by DeBerg, and DeBerg is bumped away, and Green will go all the way. Sammy Green with his first interception of the season, and a big one because the 49ers were on the move.
91 yards, and we talked to Bill Walsh prior to the game about Steve DeBerg trying to force the football into a crowd, and this is just a bad throw. There's no other way to explain it. DeBerg made a great fake inside to Francis, didn't even look to see who was covering O.J. Simpson in the flat. Sammy Green steps in front. Now comes the foot race, and watch Cornell Webster. That's a guy that's hustling. Helped his linebacker out. And Sammy Green, 91 yards. Oh, he'll talk about that one for the rest of his life.
Seahawks now lead 27-10. And Herrera with Zorn holding. A huge turnaround play by Green, make it 28-10 to the Seahawks. 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. 3rd quarter. A huge turnover. The intercept by Green to take it in, and the Seahawks lead 28-10. Well, Seattle coach Jack Patera certainly enjoyed the 91-yard intercept return by Sammy Green. That is a Seattle club record. It's the 2nd longest of all time against the 49ers, as we are informed by our statistician Jack Prote. 91-yard interception return by the 4-year veteran out of the University of Florida, Sammy Green.
And again, a poor throw by Steve DeBerg. He set it up for Sammy Green. He took advantage.
Efren Herrera to kick to James Owens and Paul Hofer. And it's Owens out to the 10. And this time, good work by the Seattle special team led by Don Dufek. And Owens is contained. A reminder, coming up in 2 weeks on Sports World. That's Saturday, October the 20th, the WBA World Heavyweight Championship fight between undefeated knockout specialist John Tate and Harry Coetzee. That'll be live from Pretoria, South Africa. You'll also see the legends of bowling with a top pro shooting for Sports World's Big Money Split. Plus, if time permits, women's gymnastics from Moscow and celebrity poker. A blockbuster lineup, October the 20th on Sports World.
I know you're doing the fight. Can I jump in your bag and go along with you?
That will be an interesting and long trip.
Yes.
Here's DeBerg on 1st down, and he's got Lenville Elliott. Short pickup, Keith Simpson, the strong safety, in on the play. Boy, does that big play by Sammy Green take the stuffing out of the ball club.
I told you that the 49ers had to score because they had the motional edge. That interception by Green has just taken it away from the 49ers.
Wild one between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. 9 minutes left in the ball game. Pittsburgh leads at 44 to 35. Brian Sipe just hit Dave Logan on a 13-yard touchdown pass. Sipe has thrown 5. incomplete. Francis backpedaling, not able to hold on. He was covered by Green.
Again, not a very good throw by Steve DeBerg, and the Boo Birds are out in San Francisco.
The backup to Steve DeBerg is the rookie out of Notre Dame, a third-round draft pick, Joe Montana, who has been utilized as a holder thus far during the regular season. He has thrown only one pass, and that on a fake field goal attempt. And Montana had a good preseason.
Held the last game,
yes.
Marv. And again, Bill Walsh said he didn't want to throw him in there to the Lions, much like Phil Simms at New York.
So DeBerg, who has come on very well, won the job. And this time able to hit Elliott. Glenville Elliott near the... Now he picked it up out to the 30-yard line. Larry Pulowski, extra linebacker, making the stop. Left guard John Ayers with a good block. As Elliott picked up that first down off a good second effort.
And Glenville Elliott, again, played under 49er head coach Bill Walsh at Cincinnati. Bill knows what he can do. It's the slip screen. There's Ayers, 68. The outstanding block on Kerry Justin. And then the second effort. And that will keep you drawing your salary on Monday afternoon.
Is that when they pay? Get the check on Mondays, huh?
That's it.
First down from the 30. And here's Elliott on the sweep. And Elliott with a nice move again out to the 40-yard line. Randy Cross led it. Keith Butler made the stop, and it's another first down picked up by Elliott. You look at the stats on DeBerg, and once again it can be misleading. We mentioned that about Zorn in his effort last week against Kansas City. Look at the records, and it looks very impressive, but you look at DeBerg's statistics, he is number 4 in the NFC as you see that final Denver beat San Diego. But DeBerg has made a couple of real big mistakes here today, so you can wipe out all those statistics. Plus, he dumps him off like there. Wilbur Jackson out to midfield. And, of course, those short passes, the swing passes, will add to the statistics.
Look at total yards and average yards per gain, and DeBerg is not up there among the leaders.
That's his story today. And, again, you pick up the paper tomorrow, and you see statistics like that, and you say, hey, not bad. But couple of real big mistakes, and the 49ers, who were on the move just moments ago, could have been taken out of the ball game on an intercept by Green. No gain at all for Phil Francis. So it'll be a third and about 1. Beeson in on the tackle along with Boyd.
It's really disconcerting to the 49ers when they blow a 74-yard drive and it turns right around to be 7 points for the Seahawks. That's tough to overcome.
It is a 3rd and 1 at the 50. San Francisco with Singleton and Fodhorse at the tackles. Cross and Ayers at the guards, pulling the center. Second back coming through. Elliott picks up the first down. Glenville Elliott with the first down. Peter Cronin, middle linebacker, makes the stop. It is a first down for the 49ers at the Seattle 47-yard line. San Francisco now trailing 28-10. 7.5 remaining in this third quarter.
Can't really count the 49ers out yet, but this drive better result in something besides a 91-yard return with an interception.
The lone setback, Francis. Cutting to the right side, penalty marker has been thrown down. Larry Pulowski making the stop on Francis. Holding penalty indicated by the referee, Pat Haggerty.
And it's against the 49ers, and that'll stop a drive every day of the week.
So they will move it back. San Francisco with a record of 0-5. They do have one of the more difficult schedules in the National Football League, and we're involved in some close...
Holding, number 71, offense.
Involved in some close ball games with Minnesota and Dallas, and LA, and New Orleans. Beaten severely last week by San Diego. They have the Giants, who come off the upset win over Tampa Bay today. Next week at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And the Giants are going to be tough next week off the win. DeBerg with some time and completes to Schumann. Mike Schumann, second-year pro out of Florida State, brought down by a combination of Cronin and Pulowski.
Seattle Seahawks secondary has done a very good job of keeping DeBerg from going long. We've got an injury.
It is Schumann. Schumann was jarred as he made that catch at the 45-yard line. And he is being attended to right now. A break in the action will return after this. Apparently Mike Schumann is all right as he was really walloped in making that last reception.
Watch his head as he gets sandwiched between the two linebackers, and his head drives into the ground. I think he was out cold for about 15 seconds.
Back live, 2nd and 8 at the 45 as DeBerg swings it again. And this is Wilbur Jackson, and the fumble came after the whistle. Pulowski with a hard hit.
Linville Elliott, I'll tell you, his second effort on his last 3 carries really been exciting. He's been the spark plug so far in this drive for the 49ers.
It is a 3rd down play and 8 at the 45. And that Denver 7-0 win over San Diego, we're just talking about quarterback statistics and how they can be deceiving as you look at O.J. Simpson pacing the sidelines. Dan Fouts of San Diego was 27 for 44, 305 yards, and the Chargers did not score.
Statistics are for losers.
And here is DeBerg throwing and broken up. Intended for Owens down at the 30. John Harris, the free safety, covering on the play. And it is a 4th down punting situation. Dan Melville comes on as Steve DeBerg goes over to the sidelines.
And again, DeBerg tried to force that one. He didn't see John Harris back there. He almost got it picked off.
Tony Green is back in single safety. There is Green in his 2nd year out of Florida, former Washington Redskin, former New York Giant. And Melville will kick from his 40.
You get the feeling that Green is going to break one of these times. He certainly is due.
Well, there is Green. He started to call fair catch. Explain that one. Then stepped out of bounds and tried to run, all right?
You got to know where you are on the football field. That's important.
Well, a timeout called with 5:53 left, 3rd quarter. Seahawks 28, 49ers 10. Back at Candlestick in San Francisco, there's O.J. Simpson, who missed the last San Francisco series as the Seahawks now go to work. 1st down at their 9-yard line.
Nothing wrong with O.J. They like to give him a rest.
Smith and Dorning, the setbacks. That's Largent in motion. And Zorn with time. Sherman Smith out near the 20-yard line. Again, a beautiful fake by Jim Zorn. Willie Hopper, the right linebacker, making the stop. And it is a 1st down for Seattle.
We're looking at Mike Schumann on the bench. He's obscured there a bit by the doctors. The report is a slight concussion, and they don't know whether he'll be back today or not. You don't want to take any chances with a concussion.
1st down for Seattle at the 20. Mark Bell, the rookie out of Colorado State, is now in at tight end for the Seahawks. The work out of the eye. Dorning, straight ahead move. Picks up 3 on the play. Buns and Vincent combined to make the stop. The 49ers defensively have Archie Reese, Ted Vincent, Jimmy Webb, Cedric Hartman up front. The linebackers, Dan Buns, Gordy Saraceno, Willie Hopper, the cornermen of Charles Cornelius and Gerard Williams, and the deep men Tim Gray and Melvin Morgan. It is a 2nd and about 6. As you look at the 3rd down situation.
It's only 2nd down, though.
Yes, our people a bit ahead of the game. Maybe they know something here. As Dorning is able to make the reception at the far side. Strong safety Tim Gray on the tackle. Well, now we have a 3rd down.
Yes, it is. 1 yard short of the first. Now we can look at those 3rd down conversions.
All right. 3rd and about 1.5 yards upcoming. Out at the 29-yard line. 4:20 left in this third quarter. Seahawks lead at 28-10. A big turnaround play with the 49ers driving here earlier this third quarter. Sammy Green picked one off and ran it in from 91 yards out. The longest intercept return of the history of the Seahawk franchise. Dorning has picked up the first down.
Seahawk offensive line had an outstanding day in the first half against the Denver Broncos 2 weeks ago, and today have been dominating San Francisco's front four.
Coming in today, Seattle third in the AFC offensively, third in passing, fifth in rushing, but defensively a solid number 10. Very poor against the pass.
Can't win in the National Football League without defense. You can have all the offense you want.
McCullum is now to the right side, and Largent is left. First down for Seattle at their 30-yard line.
Come on, Lottie!
Off the play action, Zorn looking for McCullum, and it is incomplete. McCullum covered by the free safety, Melvin Morgan.
A timed corner route by Sam McCullum. Good throw, just maybe 2 inches off the mark.
It's been kind of a conservative day for Zorn. He's thrown only 11 times, but he's 9 for 11 for 127 yards and has been just fine right throughout.
One of the reasons he hasn't thrown that much is they've been getting to the outside with the rushing game. Dornick and Smith have been running the ball well. Why throw it up when you're running good?
Jesse Green has come on, replacing Sam McCullum at the wide receiver. Green to the left, Largent is to the right side. The setbacks are Dornick and Smith. 3.5 left, third quarter. Seahawks lead at 28-10. And Zorn dumps it off, but Smith actually was impeded by his own man, number 78, Bob Newton, and could not work his way free for that pass thrown by Zorn. So we'll have a 3rd and 10 upcoming. Right here, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KING-TV, Seattle.
Thank you, Mr. Owens.
Marv Albert with Mike Hafner from Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Seattle Seahawks leading the San Francisco 49ers 28-10. The big play, a 91-yard intercept and a run for a touchdown by Sammy Green earlier this third quarter, with the 49ers threatening. A poorly thrown pass by DeBoer. That time Zorn was just able to get it away. Intended for Dornick with Buns covering. And we'll get another look at that last play as Seattle is stopped by San Francisco.
The guy who made this play an incompletion was Jimmy Webb, number 74, the defensive right tackle. Tremendous pressure on Zorn. Zorn didn't want to take the sack, so he threw it up. The Buns was all over Smith.
Back live, Herman Weaver punting from his 15-yard line. Brett Sullivan and Tony Dungy are back deep. And this is Solomon. Solomon with nowhere to go as he crossed the 25. Larry Pulowski, backup linebacker, in on the tackle. 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Seahawks leading it 28-10. San Francisco 49ers take over now. First down at their 27-yard line. Owens split to the right and Solomon left. O.J. Simpson is back in, combining with Wilbur Jackson. And DeBerg will throw on first. Again, the dump off. This time Simpson lost his footing.
It's a shame that the skinned infield from the baseball diamond is still here. It will be sodded in next week, but that doesn't help O.J. today because he slipped on that stuff.
Robert Hardy was able to cover up on the juice out at the 30, so it's a 3-yard gain, a 2nd and 7 for the 49ers. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this third quarter. Once again, Solomon left and Owens right. Here's Jackson. That's tough running there. Just picked up a couple. That is really rough. Terry Beeson the middle linebacker, making the stop.
And that composition turf down there, the dirt for the infield, is very granular because of the winds here at Candlestick Park. And if you fall on that stuff, it's like falling on an emery board. How about that? Baltimore's not undefeated anymore. The Jets are so up and down. They're the most yo-yo team in the NFL, I think. They got their first win. The Baltimore Colts, Teddy saved his job for another week.
Yeah, the Jets have been a very strange ball club. Here's Simpson, penalty marker down as O.J. got outside. O.J. Simpson out inside the 40-yard line. But a flag is down. Keith Simpson was able to finally get to the juice, and this could be a big disappointment. Yes, they're calling it back.
Formation, offense.
It is a procedure call against the 49ers.
Illegal formation. Let's see if we can see it from the snap. Evidently somebody was in motion, but O.J. still got the moves. He gets to the outside quickly. You see the flag go down, and then that great burst of speed, and just tripped up for O.J. to gone all the way, but it all goes for naught. Simpson not very happy.
The hand is for Simpson as he comes back to the San Francisco bench. It's been a solid ball game for O.J., and as you mentioned earlier, Mike, Coach Bill Walsh just wants to spot Simpson at times because, as he put it, wants to have him for the entire schedule, wants him for the 16 games. But O.J. has looked very, very well here today.
Even on one leg. He's still one of the greatest.
It is a 3rd and 8 now, back at the 28-yard line. Picks up on that fake by DeBerg, who went stumbling back as he handed to Francis. Pisa, the middle linebacker, hit on the tackle.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland, I'll tell you, defenses stayed home for that one.
Steelers do it 51-35. Right here, the 49ers not able to do it. And a punting situation as the rookie out of University of California, Dan Melville, gets set to punt away to that man, Tony Green.
I still say he's due, Marv.
You're talking about Green?
Yes.
Well, the rap against Tony, and I'm sure it's been written in Seattle as he awaits this good hang time punt, is that he has shied away from traffic, and now he's in trouble with lots of traffic, and down he goes. The Redskins could not figure it out after the excellent year he had last season, making the Pro Bowl as a rookie. Came to preseason training camp and was not looking to get involved where there were a host of tacklers around, and the same thing happened with the Giants. They had him for a while and dropped him. Thomas Seabrook in on the tackle of Tony Green. Coming up in 2 weeks, Saturday, October the 20th, from Pretoria, South Africa, John Tate and Harry Coetzee on Sports World, right here on NBC. First down at the 17-yard line, Sherman Smith out across the 20. We have 40 seconds remaining. In this 3rd quarter, Seattle Seahawks 28, San Francisco 49ers 10. A 4-yard advance for Smith. It'll be a 2nd and 6. Setting the Seahawk line, Bebout and August at the tackles, Newton and Lynch at the guards, and the center is Yarno. The running backs are Dornick and Smith. Second back is Smith. He tried to follow, but he could not. Try to follow Newton. There was a fumble on the play. The 49ers claimed that they recovered, but the whistle had blown.
His knee had touched. Whistle had blown.
And now the gun has sounded, and that's it for the 3rd quarter. So 3 in here at Candlestick with the score, Seattle 28, San Francisco 10. Start of the 4th quarter with the Seahawks leading it over the 49ers 28-10.
I don't think Bill Walsh was very happy about that fumble recovery. He wanted that one to go his way, and he complained about it, too.
Seattle with a 3rd and 6 at the 22-yard line. That's McCullum out of the slot, dealing right. And Zorn off the short set hits McCullum. Tim Gray, the strong safety, ran him out of bounds. So Sam McCullum picks up first down. All right, once again, that address, U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980P, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts, 02118. First down out at the 32-yard line. Again, the Seahawks go slot left. Off the play action, Zorn for Rabel. Well, the official holding that marker got out of the way in a hurry. A wise, swift move over at the far side. Carlos Cornelius, the left cornerback, made the stop, and it's another first down for Seattle. Final score, Dallas Cowboys 36, Minnesota Vikings 20.
Like Dallas and Pittsburgh, the inside track to the Super Bowl again.
First down at the 42-yard line. Time permits. Following the 49ers and the Seahawks, NFL report with a complete rundown of the day's activities in the National Football League. Largent, the intended receiver, Gerard Williams, covered him well, and Zorn got the idea, threw that one away.
Well, I think it was more the fact that Steve Largent slipped when he was trying to make his out move, and that threw the timing of the pass off.
Zorn is 11 for 16, 147 yards. We are in the opening minute of play, fourth quarter. And the Seahawks lead at 28-10, led 21-10 at halftime off 2 touchdowns by Dornick and 1 by Smith in the first half. Big play in the third quarter, 91-yard run off the intercept by Sammy Green. And that with the 49ers threatening, looking to move right back into this ball game. Dornick twisting and turning his way across the 45-yard line. Dan Buns, number 57. Second-year pro out of Cal State Long Beach, making the stop on 33, Dan Dornick. It is a 3rd and 5 at the 47. Dornick, 52 yards, 17 carries. Now, once again, Jack Patera inserts Jeff Moore for Sherman Smith. He's done quite a bit of that here this afternoon. Moore, the rookie, out of Jackson State. McCullum in motion. Intended for McCullum, but underthrown by Zorn. McCullum covered by Tim Gray.
Jim Zorn has been conservative in his throwing today, and this is one of the first times. There you can see him setting his man in motion. He didn't see the move of the knee the first time. He finally got his attention. And then not really a great throw afterwards.
Herman Weaver to boot from his 30-yard line. Solomon had it drop in front of him, and Rabel downs it.
Heavy rush that time by the 49ers, and that caused Herman to try and get it off quickly in a poor punt.
13:49 remaining fourth quarter. We'll be back after this. Next Sunday here on NBC, an outstanding lineup of NFL action. Starting at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, NFL 79 with Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle, and a look at Wild West football. That's Canadian style in Calgary. And then the action, Buffalo at Miami, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Those will be the 9:30 starts. At 10:30 Pacific time, New England and Chicago and Houston and Baltimore. And later on, Seattle, San Diego, and Denver at Kansas City. The completion to Wilbur Jackson makes his way out to the 30-yard line. Sammy Green on the tackle. So Jackson, the receiver, is Steve DeBerg in his 3rd year in the NFL, coming off a knee injury in the final game last season. DeBerg was born in Oakland, grew up in Anaheim, California.
With the 49ers down by 18 points, obviously, by the computer, they need 3 touchdowns. It can be done. I've seen it done, but it's going to be tough.
2nd and 8 for the 49ers. The swing for Jackson. Good hard tackle out at the 34 by Autry Beeman.
It's good to see Beeman back in there making those tough tackles. He lost his job to Simpson at the strong safety spot. He'll be knocking people down for the next couple of weeks trying to earn his job back.
They mark it just inside the 35, so that sets a 3rd and 3, 12 and a half left in the 4th quarter. 49ers to the line, led by their center, Fred Quillen. And Simpson, nice second effort by O.J., but comes hobbling off to the sideline as he picked up that first down.
You could see him protect that knee, but again, O.J. Simpson with the great glide. You remember the old days when he had that burst that he'd always save. Here he glides, jumps over a tackler, again breaks another tackle. But watch at the end of the run. Hobble out. Don't hurt that knee.
61 yards, 14 carries for O.J. First down for San Francisco at their 45-yard line.
O.J. on one leg, averaging over 4 yards a carry. It's incredible.
Owens is split to the right. That's Simpson in motion. And DeBerg dumps it off. A juggling act by the wide receiver, Freddie Solomon. Butler and Green converging to make the tackle as we check the NFL scoreboard. Kansas City over Cincinnati, 10-7. Upset at Giants Stadium. The Giants do it to Tampa Bay, so the Buccaneers finally lose a game. Philadelphia over Washington, 28-17. New England beat Detroit, 24-17. Right here, a 2nd and 2. And DeBerg to throw, goes the right side, diving catch made by Solomon. Let's see how they roll it.
He caught it.
It is a completed pass. Seahawk players were giving it the incomplete side. Cornell Webster covering up on that tackle. As we said, Patriots beat the Lions 24-17.
In the last minutes.
Chicago over Buffalo. That in the hail that Mike mentioned earlier.
That's why Buffalo had no pass offense. Joe Ferguson. Saw the Green Bay loss. St. Louis beat Houston. Another upset.
Right here, first down at the 34. O.J. Simpson. And again breaks tackles to get inside the 25. Butler and Harris combine to make the stop. The left tackle, Ron Singleton. You'll see number 67 unleash O.J.
I wonder if the Seattle defense now will stop looking at O.J. hobbling around off the field, taking rests, because the guy still got it. I mean, he does this all on his own. Broke 3 or 4 tackles, and he gets a round of applause even if he walks off the field. They're going to measure to see if he made that first down. While they're measuring for this first down, maybe we can get some more finals. They did make the first down.
So it's a first down at the 23. There's that wild ball game between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Steelers winning at 51-35. Denver over San Diego, despite the fact that Dan Fouts had haywire statistics. L.A. leading New Orleans in the 3rd, 28-7. Here's DeBerg with some time. The tight end McAfee on the reception as Butler, the right side linebacker, made the stop inside the 20. So it's only a pickup of about 4. And that brings up a 2nd and 6 for San Francisco. There's the second-year pro out of Notre Dame. His dad played for Alabama and was a fine player for the New York Giants over 5 seasons. Ken McAfee. Baltimore beating the Jets 10-8. Dallas over Minnesota 36-20. It's a 2nd and 6 right here. Wilbur Jackson out of the 10. inside the 10-yard line. So a first and goal for the 49ers. Beeson and Webster on the submarine tackle of Jackson.
And again, Steve DeBerg has been using the short routes all day. I think the only deep pattern he's thrown was that turn in earlier to Freddie Solomon. The rest, the dump off to the running backs, the quick ins to the tight end.
9 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. 49ers first and goal at the 9. There's a final. The Rams beating New Orleans 35-17. Second back, Linville Elliott. Elliott with a good second effort to take it home. Linville Elliott. And the 49ers now trail 28-16.
Linville Elliott made this run all on his own. Watch how he jukes at least 3 potential tacklers. The fake inside to Jackson held one linebacker. Now here, Cornell Webster, forget it. He faked him. Now Simpson has a shot at him. No chance. Spins around. Dave Brown says, why tackle him? He's already scored.
So the 49ers showing spurts of success, and this drive was one of them. Really damaged by that. We go back to it again, that early third quarter interception. 91-yard return for Sammy Green. Montana the holder, and Worthing puts it through. A timeout called, 8:54 remaining fourth quarter. Seattle now leads San Francisco 28-17. Back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, Marv Albert and Mike Hafner as you check out that last 49er drive, 9 plays, 72 yards, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Tapped off by Elliott, running it in from 9 yards out. Here's Jeff Moore for Seattle to the 20, 25, down at the 30-yard line. Gang tackle led by Tony Dungy, the backup safety man. Gordy Saraceno also involved, and the Seahawks now first down across the 30-yard line.
49er defense, if they hope to keep their offense in the game, have got to stop Seattle. No first downs on this drive.
Seattle sending Green to the right side, and now, no, he's going to the bench. They had 12 men on the field. That's why. Green to the right and to the bench. Lodgett out to the right side. That would have been an effective play. This is Jeff Moore out to the 37-yard line.
Yes, this is not the Canadian League where they use 12.
Hardman and Reese, the two outside men combining to make that stop. San Francisco with a front four of Reese, Benson, Webb, and Hardman. The linebackers are Buns, Hopper, and Saraceno. In the corners, Cornelius and Williams, and Gray and Morgan on the deep man. 7-yard pickup. It's a 2nd and 3. Here's Dorning. Trapped. Trying to cut back. Could not. Dan Dorning had no running room at all. Cornelius, the left cornerback, combining with the left side linebacker, Saraceno.
Gordy Saraceno strung that out well and gave a chance for Charles Cornelius to push Dornick out of bounds.
Ball is placed at the 38, and it is a 3rd and about 1.5 yards.
Big play.
They go double tight end, Peets and Bell. 49ers want that ball back.
They're on the dirt part of the infield. They're not going to get the good footing.
And the crowd urging the 49er defense on. Zorn throws. He's got Largent for the first down. Steve Largent on a 3rd and 1.5 yards. Coming up with a key reception, stopped by Gerard Williams.
I'll tell you what. Jerry Rome up in the box must have been listening, because it's tough to get your footing on a running play at 3rd and 1.5 in that skin part of the infield. So he went to the pass, and he saw that Gerard Williams was off of Largent. That's as good as a running play any day of the week.
6:45 left in the fourth quarter. McCullum is left and Largent right. First down for Seattle at their 48-yard line. A couple of people jumped right there. looked to be Steve August, the right tackle. Brian Peets, the tight end. We'll have to wait and see. Penalty markers all over the field.
I like your second choice.
Offside.
88.
Offense.
He didn't even give us the number. We know it was Brian Peets. The tight end jump.
Offside. Number 88. Offense.
Right.
Decline.
Thank you, Pat Haggerty.
Penalty is declined because they lost a yard on the play. It'll be a 2nd and 11. Al Hunter has come on for his first play from scrimmage, replacing Dan Dorning. So now a combination of Hunter and Moore. You have to wonder about Sherman Smith, and that he is not in on this series. All right, Zorn off the short setup. Steve Rabel. Rabel to the 45, and he and Gerard Williams get involved. Rabel obviously felt that he was not down, and Williams wanted to make sure.
I think Williams a little upset. That's the second time in a row he got burned on that quick pitch pattern. Once for the first down by Largent, this time by Rabel. He's still short of the first down, though. An important 3rd and 4.
And Dorning returns. So Hunter departs. It is a 3rd and 4 now at the 46.
Dorning's a good pass receiver. That's why he's back in this 3rd and passing situation.
And Zorn looks to throw and goes incomplete, intended for McCollum. So the Seahawks are forced to give up that football.
49ers played that well. Gordy Saraceno was all over Dan Dorning, and that was the primary receiver for Jim Zorn. He was covered. He had to throw it away.
Herman Weaver setting up back behind his 40-yard line. And back deep, it's Fred Solomon and Tony Dungy. 6:21 left fourth quarter. And the 49ers now with a chance to get back in it. Good hang time by Weaver. Misjudged but recovered by Solomon.
And it's not easy to judge them in Candlestick Park. It blows around up there.
Well, a timeout has been called. When we resume, the 49ers will take over. All right, check your local listings for the game in your area. San Francisco now starting out back at their 12-yard line, 1st and 10. They are trailing 28-17. 6:12 left in the fourth quarter. And here's DeBerg with problems, gets it away and overthrows Wilbur Jackson. Carl Eller was just lurking and waiting to make the kill.
I'll tell you, here's the old veteran, 71. He gets fooled a little bit on the bootleg pass, but he recovers well. And look at DeBerg. He says, who is this number 7? Looks like looking in a mirror. He's 17, looking at 71. Let me get rid of this football now, and he did. Just threw it away.
It's a 2nd and 10, back at the 12. We've received word that Sherman Smith injured his wrist in the first half, but apparently Jack Patera said that Smith is all right, just wants to get a look at some other people in the backfield. That's why he wasn't in there the last couple of series. Paul Hofer on the completion, hit down, though, across the 15 by Keith Simpson.
Now you know why Keith Simpson has won his job at the strong safety. He's beaten out Autry Beeman. He reads pass well. And I'll tell you, the 49ers hit it with Hofer just sneaking out of the backfield, but they didn't fool Simpson. Perfect tackle, right at the knees.
It is a 3rd and 6.
That's the 8th different receiver the 49ers have thrown the football to today. It's tough when you're trying to play catch-up.
James Owens now split wide to the left side. And this is Hofer trying the left side. Simpson able to bring him down across the 20-yard line, but he's got the first down.
It's going to be close over there. I think he's short. He marked it way back. Yes. Oh, and the 49ers are not happy where that ball was placed.
Yes, you're right. It has been marked right across the 20-yard line, so it is short of the first down. It'll be a 4th and about 1.
And they're going for it.
Coming up next, NFL Report. following the Seahawks and the 49ers, and we have 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter.
Here's the ball game right here. Fourth down, a little over a yard to go. If they don't make this, we can start singing goodbye.
Jackson and Hofer are the running backs. Penalty marker thrown down. It's completed to Hofer for the first down, but we'll have to wait and see.
Delay of game, offense.
Delay of game. They didn't get the snap off. That's the quarterback's fault. He's got that 30-second clock staring him right in the face. He should have gotten it off. Now they'll have to punt.
Delay of game, offense, fourth down.
There's that 30-second clock. And off the delay of game penalty, 49ers are forced to punt.
Mental errors will kill you. I can hear Bill Walsh now, the 49er head coach.
There's Dan Melville back at his goal line. That's Tony Green in single safety, so we get a 10-man rush. And Melville just does get it off. Here's Green at midfield with great coverage by the 49ers, and Green able to get away. Green down to the 20 and pushed out of bounds.
I had a premonition. He finally broke one, almost fumbled it, though.
He ran past that coverage. They were all over Green. Owens and Francis combining to push Green out of bounds.
Here's what Tony Green hadn't been doing. He wasn't ready to challenge the tacklers, and this time he just took off. Look, he almost loses the ball right there. Now his great speed, and he's pointing out blockers. Get that man for me, and I'll go all the way, and he's pushed out of bounds by two of the 49er defenders. Bill Francis, the main man.
And a timeout has been called. We'll be back right after these words. On the 30-yard punt return by Tony Green, the Seattle Seahawks now 1st and 10. Down at the San Francisco 21-yard line. 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter here at Candlestick in San Francisco. Marv Albert with Mike Hafner. And Zorn lines it up out of the eye. He has Jesse Green to the right, Steve Largent to the left side. Jeff Moore. Jimmy Webb, the right defensive tackle, makes the stop on the play. It is a advance down to the 17-yard line. It'll set up a 2nd and 6.
Seahawks in this situation want to see that clock running and running, and it is.
Right now the Seahawks with Al Hunter and Jeff Moore as the running backs. So Jack Patera continues to shuffle in that backfield. Long count by Zorn. Here's Hunter. Turns the corner. Al Hunter making the move on the outside with Buns and Morgan. Finally able to collar him. And they mark it down at the 11-yard line.
It's a first down, but I'll tell you, Al Hunter will hear from his offensive backfield coach. He wasn't supposed to run out of bounds on that one.
First down at the 11, 3:28 remaining in this fourth quarter. McCullum is to the right. The tight end is the rookie Bell. And Hunter and Moore remain at the running back position. Hunter down to the 5-yard line. Hunter, the 3-year pro out of Notre Dame, the first man in Notre Dame history to rush for 1,000 yards in a single season. He was selected in that supplemental draft a couple of years back. Stopped by Gray and Morgan. And it'll be a 2nd down. Down at the 5-yard line for the Seahawks.
You can tell the defensive problems for the 49ers when you start mentioning safeties making the tackle on 5-yard runs.
49ers with all kinds of shuffling in that secondary throughout the year. 2nd and 5, and Zorn wants to talk it over.
I messed up the signals and called timeout, a kind of a wasted timeout.
A reminder, the lineup for tonight here on NBC, starting at 7. It'll be Disney's Wonderful World, Part 2. The $1 Million Duck, starring Dean Jones. At 8 o'clock on the big event, Gray Lady Down with Charlton Heston, David Carradine. And at 10, Prime Time Sunday with Tom Snyder. All here on NBC. And keep in mind, following the Seahawks and the 49ers NFL report, Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamle. Seahawks leading it 28-17, 2:45 remaining in this fourth quarter, and a Seattle timeout. So Zorn gets some extra time, talk things over.
I don't know if they really want to put the ball up here, but if they want to score, that would be the call. And you and I did the Oakland and Seattle game where they scored on with no time left on the clock on a pass.
Now we're set to resume. It is a 2nd and 5 coming up from just outside the 6-yard line. That's Peets setting up as the tight end on the right side. Here's Al Hunter. Making his way inside the 5, Brian Peets, the tight end. That time was tossed down by one of the 49ers. It was Peets who led Hunter on that move inside the 5. Tim Gray, the strong safety, making the stop.
Outstanding passing day for Jim Zorn. Conservative throws, again hitting his backs, but no interceptions.
It's as if he has changed his personality. Actually, the Seahawks had a definite philosophy coming in, but the game has also dictated to that philosophy as we get the 2-minute warning. As a result, it has been a solid game for Jim Zorn. 2 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Seahawks leading it 28-17. Crowd of 44,592 at Candlestick. They had 5,100 no-shows. So 44,000 on hand. 2 minutes to go. It's a 3rd and 1 down at the 2. That's Lodgen peeling off. And Zorn on the roll. And Zorn will try to take it, and he does. Jim Zorn nipping the left-hand corner. Just able to beat Willie Hopper, the right side linebacker. And the Seahawks now take a 34-17 lead.
Jim Zorn, I said a passing play would get them a score, and Jim Zorn had the option here. Fakes inside to Jeff Moore. He's looking for someone open, but sees that he can beat Willie Harper to the corner, 59. Steps into the end zone, and no more boo days for Jim Zorn, at least not to this point.
Efren Herrera, who has been perfect, will try for the extra point with Zorn holding. The Seahawks have taken a 35-17 lead. So a minute and 55 remaining. And we'll be back after this pause. Efren Herrera now will kick off for Seattle. The Seahawks leading it 35-17. There's Herrera. It's not kind of a low-key day, just placement kicking.
Stand right in there, booming through.
Takes the pressure off. Hofer and Owens are back. Seahawks will move on to play the San Diego Chargers at San Diego next Sunday.
Going to be very, very interesting in the AFC West, as everyone predicted going into the season. Might be the toughest conference in all the National Football League.
49ers will move on to play the Giants, who upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier today. Line drive kick by Herrera, and takes a tricky hop. Hofer able to field it. And Hofer with nowhere to go. Cornell Webster able to get to him after Dufek could not bring him down.
Like a 9-iron shot. Hit at the 10-yard line and stuck within birdie range. And Hofer had no chance because coverage was down there to swamp him.
49ers first down at their 18-yard line, a minute and 48 left. Seahawks lead it 35-17. 2 touchdowns by Dornick, 1 by Smith. The big one on the 91-yard run off the intercept by Green. Zorn ran it in just moments ago. This is Hofer. And we've had some interesting hits here this afternoon. O.J. has been involved in a couple of them. That time Keith Simpson setting Hofer flying. Obviously, with this ball game out of sight for the 49ers, Bill Walsh just using it for clinical purposes as you take a last look.
And again, Hofer has been watching the dives. There's another 9-pointer. He got an extra 3 yards jumping up in the air. You can get hurt like that, though. 2nd and 3 out at the 25-yard line. Running backs are now Lenville Elliott, number 35, and Wilbur Jackson, number 40. This time DeBerg will throw, and he's got Elliott. Elliott pushed back the other way by the right linebacker, Keith Butler. I think they'll mark him down. First down yardage, though. Good tackle by Butler.
Cronin and Butler in on the stop. First down is picked up. 49ers now in that hurry-up offense that we saw at the end of the first half. A completion to James Owens. Try to scramble for some more. Another first down for the 49ers. Clock is running. 1:05 remaining. Now Steve DeBerg fires again. He's got Owens right near that first down marker. And DeBerg, we're told, has now clicked with 9 different receivers here today. Another first down was picked it up. Well, we have an opportunity. Let's thank our statistician, Jack Prote, our spotters, Alan Cusick, and Bob Coffey.
I'm expecting DeBerg to throw one to head coach Bill Walsh any time now. He's running out of people to throw to. James Owens, I might mention, was a running back when he came to camp. They switched him to wide receiver. Then there were injuries, back to running back. Now back out to wide receiver. He's still learning.
Owens is out to the right. Slingshot pass completed to Solomon. And he's to the 30-yard line. Another first down for San Francisco. 40 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Seahawks leading it all the way. They lead right here 35-17. Clock continues to run. Penalty marker is thrown. Beautiful catch by Owens. Another first down, and now a timeout called by San Francisco. So James Owens, who I mentioned earlier, had been having a disappointing rookie season, is having his finest game. Here's the call, though, an offside.
And you know who it was against? James Owens. He jumped before the snap.
The executive producer of NBC Football is Don Ohlmeyer. Our coordinating producer, Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game produced by Roy Hammerman, directed by Barry Stoddard, technical director Rick Lombard, and the associate director Ray Benassi.
And I want to congratulate our crew. They did a heck of a job today. Right on the spot as usual.
Mike, you're just appreciative that they spelled your name right earlier. 27 seconds remaining. Off the offside called on Owens, it'll be a 1st and 15 back at the 35-yard line. And keep in mind, NFL Report upcoming with Brian Gumble and Mike Adamley. Quick rundown on the National Football League from this afternoon.
I think there are a few people that might be interested in a couple of scores. Bryant and Mike will give it to you all right after us.
49ers with 1 timeout remaining. San Francisco got off to a 0-5 start in 77, 0-4 last year before picking up a first win, going on to 2 up and 14 down, and Bill Walsh with another very long season in front of him.
They're already talking about that great draft position they're going to have next year.
They will finish today 0-6 while the Seattle Seahawks will make it 2 up and 4 down. Well, Dwight Clark, number 87, a rookie out of Clemson. Teammate of Steve Fuller at Clemson has come on for the first time. He is flanked to the right side. And here is DeBerg looking left and then throws way off the mark, but a great leaping catch was made. Freddie Solomon in a crowd with 17 seconds remaining in the game, and a San Francisco timeout is called.
I'll tell you, Steve DeBerg knew where Freddie Solomon was supposed to be. And again, he kind of slingshotted it because he was under pressure. And watch Solomon with a great concentration. Excellent job in front of Dave Brown, the cornerback. Solomon, I didn't even see him. He's so short. He snuck in between and in front of Brown and made the reception.
Freddie goes 5'11", 188, out of Tampa in his 5th year. 49ers have just utilized their final timeout. 17 seconds remaining in the game.
35-24 sounds better than 35-17. I think
yes.
Bill Walsh wants to score.
49ers come off the loss in San Diego last week, 31-9. And their 4 previous defeats, if that's any consolation at all, were closer. But I tell you, when you're 0-6, you're dying no matter what the scores.
That's right.
Death. Here at Candlestick, you see 17 seconds remaining. Not too many folks out in the seats in that area under the scoreboard, although we did get 45,000 on hand here today. A lot of time here on this timeout, and they can't blame this one on a television commercial. Folks, it's not us.
We're still here.
We're not trying to duck one in. Now we're set, I think.
Steve DeBerg's got 3 shots at this touchdown. He's just inside the 10-yard line. He can throw all 3 times. They have 1 timeout remaining.
The rookie Clark flank left side, and Owens to the right. And DeBerg with much time goes short to Francis. Francis near the goal line. Phil Francis with time running down. 6 seconds remaining, and he is hurt.
He got sandwiched at the goal line, and I can feel the ribs right now. That hurt.
In an official timeout as that ball is placed at the half-yard mark.
Francis says he wants to stay in the game. Well, he's going to stay. No, he's going to come out now. And he gets a big round of applause. That was a gutty run to the 1-foot line.
And it'll be a 2nd and goal from that spot. There's Phil Francis.
You got 1 shot at it now. If you're going to run, you got no timeouts left. If he doesn't make it, the clock's going to run out.
Francis replaced by Lenville Elliott. They go double tight end with Brewer and McAvee.
In this situation, though, I would roll out and give my quarterback the option to throw or run, much as Jim Zorn did on the last touchdown for the Seahawks.
Well, DeBerg throws in the crowd, and McAvee, he caught it. Oh, a spectacular catch by Ken McAvee.
I tell you, Steve DeBerg threw it up and hoped that McAfee caught it because he was well covered. But that was just a great catch by the former Notre Damer and #1 draft choice of the Niners.
No time remaining, and McAfee with a tremendous effort.
Again, Steve DeBerg has the option to run or throw, and you'll see the coverage. They're all over McAfee. He jumps up in the air, almost loses the ball, regains control, touchdown.
Well, McAfee caught one for 50 yards earlier. It has been no secret that he has been a major disappointment, but he's had a good one here today. Now Joe Montana will hold. Here's Ray Wersching. And that's the ball game. So the 49ers end it with the score. And the Seahawks have defeated the San Francisco 49ers by the score of 35-24. to 24. 49ers at 0-6. Seattle at 2-4. This is Marv Albert with Mike Hafner saying so long from San Francisco.
Promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. United's building the largest airline in the world around you. Fly the friendly skies.
From Candlestick Park in San Francisco, let's go to New York for NFL Report with Bryant Gumbel.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to NFL 79 in New York. About time to turn out the lights. We'll give you all the finals of today. Let's start with Kansas City, Cincinnati. The Chiefs a winner 10-7.
In the Meadowlands, the New York Giants upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 17-14.
Philadelphia Eagles got 4 touchdowns for Wilbert Montgomery. They beat the Washington Redskins. Final there 28-17.
Another scare for New England, 24-17 over the Detroit Lions.
The Chicago Bears came up big today, beating the Buffalo Bills, who had been averaging a whole bunch of points a game. Walter Payton, 155 yards. Bears a winner, 7-0.
Green Bay has been a real mystery. They killed the Patriots last week. Today they lost to the Falcons 25-7. 3 Tim Mazzetti field goals in that one.
Very big upset in the Astrodome. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Houston Oilers 24-17.
How about this one? 86 points scored in this game on Lake Erie. Steelers got the most of them, 51 to be exact. 5 touchdown passes, however, for Brian Sipe.
Going to have a tough time figuring out the San Diego Chargers. They had been averaging 28 points a game, but today the Denver Broncos shut them out, 7-0.
Well, the Boo Birds will get off Pat Hayden for a while. He threw 3 touchdown passes. Los Angeles beat New Orleans 35-17.
The Jets in Baltimore, the Baltimore Colts finally come up with a victory, their first in 6 weeks. Final there 10-8.
And a big day for Tony Dorsett, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dallas beats Minnesota up in Bloomington 36-20.
And our other final, as you just saw, Seattle beat San Francisco. The final there was 35-24. Don't forget to join us next week here on NBC. We'll have a full day of NFL football. Mike and I will get it started at 12:30. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami to follow. After that, we'll have football throughout the day. Brian Gumbel for Mike Adamle and all of us at NFL 79. Thanks and good night.